right, what up, y'all? It's been a crazy weekend. It's a wild card weekend, and we had a lot going on. Um, we just got news today about Mike Tomlin's firing. This is gonna be another coach fired, another big coach fired. As you know, week 18, you had John Harbaugh fired um, off the Steelers' loss, and if you listen to anybody in the know, you knew that if it was the Steelers that lost, Mike Tomlin would have been the one out. And Steve Bisciotti just said today that if the Ravens won that game, if the kicker makes a field goal and they win, he would have still fired Harbaugh the following week, which is saying a lot. He literally said that would have lasted him just another week, which is saying that you think your team wouldn't have won the next game, which is funny. But yeah, that's a lot of drama happening this weekend. Every game was crazy. And I mean, they were all crazy in their own way as well. Um, Especially with last night, Steelers lose 30-6. Oh my gosh, 30-6. Now, I'll say this, and this is not just because I'm a Steeler fan. I want to get that out the way first. This game was a lot closer than 30-6. Um, Going into the fourth quarter, literally going into the fourth quarter, it was 7-6. Houston was winning 7-6. So you just wonder, like, man, it's 7-6 going to the fourth quarter. How does this game get so out of hand to a point where it's 30-6? From 7-6 to 30-6. That's a crazy difference. When you get blown out like this, you expect a coach that's already in the hot seat, regardless if you're in the playoffs or not. You expect that coach is probably going to be fired just with his situation. So Mike Tomlin gets fired, joins his division rival coach John Harbaugh, as well as Kevin Stefanski, who was fired towards the end of the season as well. 3 head coaching positions are now open in the AFC North compared to, I mean, it's just funny. Like Zach Taylor is the one left. Zach Taylor is the last man standing in the AFC North with the Cincinnati Bengals. Some people would say Zach Taylor is the worst coach in the division, but he's still, hey, Zach Taylor can say, hey, I still got my job. He's the last guy here left in the division, and the Bengals probably had one of the worst seasons they've had in a long time. So this is so interesting, man, how the AFC North is going to shuffle. Can't imagine looking across to the Ravens sideline from the Steelers' perspective, not seeing Harbaugh there. Can't imagine Harbaugh from the Ravens' perspective, a Ravens fan looking across and seeing a different coach to Mike Tomlin. It's just a crazy thought for us older fans. I knew Bill Cowher. He brought us our first Super Bowl in my lifetime. I saw as a Steeler fan. Then Mike Tomlin came shortly after. So a lot of Steeler fans, that's all we know, just 2 coaches. And then you got a lot of Ravens fans who also just only been through 2 coaches, Brian Billick and John Harbaugh. And that's a lot of Ravens fans, especially even the younger Ravens fans, all they know is Harbaugh. So now you're gonna have a different coach standing in that position. It's gonna be so crazy how the AFC North is gonna look this season, and who they hire. I mean, there are so many coaches. I know there's Brian Flores, who the Steelers had in their building at one point. If you don't know, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when Brian Flores was going through his NFL battles, he was dealing with he took the NFL to court, and they were dealing with all that whole situation I don't want to get into. But Mike Tomlin was one of the few coaches that gave him a shot. He brought him in the building, and Brian Flores was with the Steelers for that year. Right after that, then he goes to Minnesota. So that gap from the Miami Dolphins to Minnesota in between that year, Brian Flores is with the Steelers. So I don't think the Steelers are picking back up, but I just think it's something to consider, something to look at. If it does happen, you can reference that time where he did get brought in from by the Steelers from Mike Tomlin. Yeah, you can look into that if you didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that he was on the Steelers staff at one point. So Brian Flores, I know he got interviewed by the Ravens. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, recently. So he's a big name out there. Kevin Stefanski, obviously, Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh. It would be funny. I know people are saying this, and I saw the GM for the Ravens say this. Would the Ravens consider bringing in Mike Tomlin? There's rumors that Lamar Jackson loves Mike Tomlin. He always loved him from a distance, and secretly, he's always said he would love to play for Mike Tomlin, which is all the Lamar Jackson rumors lately have been wild. And if they're all true, then that's just a crazy situation with Lamar. But if Lamar really does like Mike Tomlin, I don't see any way that dream comes true for Lamar. But what I will say is this: the Ravens, the next coach that comes in, hopefully that's you talk to Lamar, because you don't want another situation where Lamar and the head coach are not on the same page, and that's what it seemed like with Harbaugh. It seemed like that relationship wore thin, and because it's the thing about Harbaugh is that Harbaugh didn't step down; he got fired. Mike Tomlin stepped down, so the Steelers still have Mike Tomlin on their books as somebody who they could trade, whether it's this year or next year. So I mean, this is a crazy couple of days, man. Crazy couple of days. And like I said, Kevin Stefanski is still an option here. He's still somebody that you're gonna look at. Will Stefanski come to one of the AFC North teams, which would be crazy? I know the Giants. The Giants is probably Atlanta Falcons, and the Giants are probably like the hottest coaching opportunities right now at the moment. I'm just kind of wondering who the Giants and the Atlanta Falcons are looking at. You got to believe Harbaugh is going to be at one of those jobs. And if you believe Mike Tomlin is going to be in the market this year, he should be in one of those jobs as well. Something's telling me, just based on the talk, that Mike Tomlin is probably going to wait a year. I think Mike Tomlin's going to wait a year, take a break, and probably next year, Steelers will trade him to the team that is most interested in his services. I think you got the Raiders still need a coach as well. So many different options here. Mike Tomlin was hired in 2007. He was 34, and that was 19 years ago. And now look at him. It's crazy. Crazy situation. Now there's a lot of crazy news going on at the moment. There was Jordan Addison who got arrested again. How he gets arrested again, I really do not know. It's just a crazy. Jordan Addison is very talented. I just don't know what's going on through his head right now. The current, so that's it. That's it with Jordan Addison. He's one of my favorite wide receivers, and I don't think I could look at him again, especially not from a fantasy perspective. But no, it's there's up to 9 head coaching vacancies right now in the NFL. Steelers, Ravens, Browns, the New York Football Giants. You got the Titans, you got the Falcons, you got the Cardinals, you got the Raiders, you got the Dolphins. All these jobs are currently open still, and you're gonna kind of wonder how all this is gonna shape up, how this is gonna go down in terms of who goes where. I think the most valuable, the most interesting jobs, you got the New York Giants, you got the Ravens, and the Atlanta Falcons. Oh, those should be the top 3 jobs available. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers. What I think about John being fired, it's crazy. I'm just wondering, like I said a little bit earlier, not seeing John Harbaugh on that sideline. for the Ravens. I mean, after 18 years, seeing a different coach over there is just gonna be mind blowing. But yeah, it's a great run. Mike Tomlin's streak did continue over his reign. Low key was Lamar's fault. Hey, like I said, the next coach that they bring in, it better be signed and checked from Lamar, because based on the rumors that's going on, based on his play this year, he's gonna need a coach in there that he respects and likes. Apparently, the relationship between him and Harbaugh wore thin, and it did not last well towards the end there. So yeah, now it looks like Andy Reid is the longest tenured coach. He's been with the Chiefs since 2013. So Andy Reid has been there, was that 13 years, coming up on 13 years. So that's right now he's the longest tenured coach. And depending on when he want to retire, he might be there for a long time as well. So yeah, I mean this is wild. I just kind of wonder if Mike Tomlin chooses to be a coach this year, or does he take a year off? And because Harbaugh right now, Harbaugh's in the hey, have a good night, man. You too. Right now Harbaugh's in the mix. Harbaugh is taking interviews. I believe either this week or next week. He's gonna be a guy that takes some interviews there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how where he goes, how that shapes up. Because right now, if I'm Harbaugh, obviously he's not gonna go to the Steelers, right? I'm going to the Giants, or I'm going to the Atlanta Falcons. Those are the two jobs I'm looking at, because I mean the Ravens are out of the picture. The Steelers should be out of the picture. I just don't see how that happens. Harbaugh should go to Atlanta or New York, unless he wants to do something ambitious. Unless he's feeling real confident that he wants to go somewhere like Miami. But if you go somewhere like Miami, you got a big job going like in front of you. I don't see that as an option. Miami might be one of the worst coaching opportunities right now, and you have to find out what you're gonna do with Tua. It's just I wouldn't put myself through that headache, unless like you want a real challenge or something like that, which I don't think anybody needs to do to themselves. I see the Miami Dolphins getting like a younger coach who comes in there and he does what he has to do. Cleveland Browns, look, the Cleveland Browns actually have a solid roster. Unfortunately, Harbaugh or Tomlin would be good for the Browns, but like I said, these interdivision coaches it's not going to happen. None of these coaches are going to go to any of the division rivals. It just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen with rivals like in a rivalry like this. These teams are too hotly contested. There's no way Harbaugh, Tomlin, Stefanski goes to either divisional foes. So I just don't see that happening. But the Browns do need somebody like Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin, but that would never happen. They need somebody who's gonna change the entire landscape here, change how the teams are viewed, and change the culture. They need culture change 100%. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes, man. I'm excited for the wild card weekend. We got some great matchups. Oh, sorry, the divisional weekend. I'm stuck in the wild card, man. I wish my team carried on, but it looks like we are moving on to Denver versus Buffalo. Now, this is Denver versus Buffalo is going to be a great game. Now, this is at Denver, and if you watch this so long enough, you know that is a true home field advantage in Denver, at the Mile High City in Denver. I truly believe in the home field advantage over there. It's just simply with the altitude that you're dealing with. Yeah, the Denver Buffalo matchup is gonna be interesting because Josh Allen is the guy that everyone's gonna be looking at to carry his team to win a Super Bowl this year. Simple as that. I mean, everyone's gonna look at Josh Allen with no Lamar Jackson. There's gonna be no Mahomes there. Joe Burrow's not in there. Nobody should be there to stop Josh Allen from winning the Super Bowl. And right now, they passed that first test. I know a lot of people saw the Jacksonville Jaguars play this year, and they have been better than the Buffalo Bills. So a lot of people had the Jags win that game. I had the Jags win that game. I thought the Jags would beat Buffalo Bills just based on the totality of the team. But when you do have a great quarterback like Josh Allen, and you have a good offensive line, and your running game is pretty solid, I mean, he doesn't have much weapon in terms of wide receivers, and his tight ends are solid. I would say Kincaid, Knox are solid players. But this Denver Buffalo matchup is going to be so interesting, especially with Denver's defense, because how you stop a great quarterback is that pass rush. And the Denver Broncos almost broke the record for the most sacks in the season. So they're going to get after Josh Allen. And when you get after Josh Allen, you can really make him look like a different guy. And that's not even just Josh Allen thing. That's every quarterback. You put the rush on them, and they start to look a little funny. You saw that from C.J. Stroud yesterday, which is still just shocks me how the Steelers lost that game, because C.J. Stroud did not know what to do after he took some hits. But yeah, Denver versus Buffalo. That the Mile High City. Can Josh Allen do that? Can Josh Allen beat them to move on to another AFC championship? I don't see why the expectation shouldn't be that he beats Denver. That should be what it is. Yeah, if we beat the Patriots, anybody can get it. Hey, Houston can do it. I said a couple weeks ago. I said before the playoffs started, before I knew the Steelers were going to be in the playoffs, I said Houston, to me, is a Super Bowl team. I know it might sound a little crazy, but I think Houston has the defense to do it. I think CJ Stroud just needs to pick up his game. Because yesterday it was the defense carrying Stroud. Stroud just needs to show a little bit of what we saw his rookie year, and that sometimes last year, that what we saw. Yeah, the Patriots are no joke, but trust me, I believe in Houston here. I think I'm going to pick Houston to win this game. I just need CJ Stroud to look decent. Because what I've been seeing, not just last week, I remember the Raiders game, I believe the Titans game. He just looked real iffy here. Who's my team? I'm a Steeler fan, man. So last night was pretty hard for me. But that taking that away, like I like Houston. I always like Houston. I said they were a Super Bowl type of team before the playoffs started. So this isn't hindsight or anything like that. I do think that they're a great team with a great defense. So looking at that, I think that's something that you really Houston team really got to take serious. I'm just emphasizing again, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud needs to play well, or Houston does not have a chance, because Houston's not going to play offenses like the Steelers every week. So I think Houston's the team to look at. I believe in Stroud. I think Stroud can get it done. So it's going to be interesting. They play 3 p.m. this Saturday, so all eyes are going to be on them for sure. The Sunday games are looking pretty good with their game in Chicago versus in the Rams. But yeah, I'm picking Houston to beat New Orleans. So if you're nervous this Sunday, it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close one. I think, we saw this past weekend how all these games were close. I think it's going to be another weekend where these games are very tight and close. I wouldn't be surprised at all. With that, if my prediction is right and Houston wins, Houston will have to go against Denver or Buffalo. And that Denver and Buffalo matchup is going to be a scary one. It's going to be a tough one. And you're going to know right away. That's the first game on Saturday. It's Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be they say Denver -1.5. Jeez. Denver -1.5. That's probably the lowest spread, the lowest line I've seen during the playoffs so far. Yeah, they got. Hey, and I think that's right. I think that's right, because the way it's looking, it's going to be a tight one. and Buffalo has the better quarterback. I'll say Buffalo has the better running game, and that's it. I mean, the O lines are comparable, but Denver's defense is something. Pat Surtain was in and out the lineup, and Denver still look good. They still look like a solid team. So honestly, it's gonna be real interesting to see how Buffalo Bills can get through that defense of the Denver Broncos and pull out a win. I'm really focused on that game because Josh Allen should have the opportunity, and he should have the advantage. You're the better quarterback, so I don't see why you can't come through with the win. It's your best chance. There's no like the fans can't say anymore that, oh man, we just needed to beat, we couldn't get through Mahomes. That was the whole excuse leading up to this. Now there's no Mahomes there. There's nothing to worry about, right? Nothing to worry about. So they should pull off the win here, and I'm excited. I'm so excited for that game, man. That's the first game of the week. It's gonna be interesting. And we got San Fran, and we got Seattle after that. I think Seattle comes through with this win. San Francisco did lose Kittle. I know Kittle was big to them, obviously. George Kittle is a guy that all pro talent. He's a receiver. He's a blocker. He's a guy that I really respect. Really unfortunate that he got injured. But San Francisco did pull through without him. And I don't know. I believe the Super Bowl is in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, I don't know if the script writers are doing their thing or whatever, but I don't see it. I see Seattle pulling through in the win. It's at Seattle. The defense is good. Wide receivers are good. You got two running backs over there, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. Sam Darnold's, as long as he doesn't go Jets Sam Darnold where he's throwing a bunch of interceptions. That defense as a collective over at Seattle is good. I think Seattle wins this pretty comfortably. The spread is 7.5, minus 7.5, Seattle. So yeah, I think based on the odds, it is looking in our favor here. I think we already talked about Houston and New England. Going to be a close game. Going to come down to the wire. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that game really, really going down to the wire. And I think that I'm going Houston once again. Like that, I know that's my Super Bowl pick, so it's one of those things where I kind of got to stick to it. But honestly, I just think C.J. Stroud just has to play a little bit better because this defense gets after it. This defense knows what to do. Like I said before, they've been winning games in spite of C.J. Stroud lately, and I think that continues. There's two games I'm really looking forward to. It's the Buffalo-Denver game and the Houston-New England game. Honestly, even the Chicago and the Rams, that's the game I'm looking forward to as well. That's in Chicago. That's going to be a great game as well. I guess Seattle and San Francisco, with the injuries San Francisco is dealing with, I'm just kind of leaning towards Seattle winning this. But I think even the Sunday night game with Chicago and the Rams, which is a 6:30 game, which is interesting. I even see that game being a good one. So, I can't wait for it. Yeah, I think Houston over New England. So Broncos or the Bills. Hey, Devin, I'm going with the. It's a tough one. It's a tough one here, but I'm gonna go with Buffalo Bills. I think they're gonna play with some intensity. I think that Josh Allen's gonna play out of his mind. Denver, it is at Denver. It is the Mile High City. They're going over there. They are the better more complete team. So it is a little tough to say that Buffalo's gonna win. I'm just strictly looking at this. I'm strictly looking at the fact that Buffalo, like Josh Allen, needs this game strictly for the legacy. So I'm looking at the legacy here, man. So at the Texans when he gets the Patriots, I think the Texans could give the Patriots problems. I think the matchup Houston against the Texans, Houston against New England. I think that's going to give New England some problems here. I think the offensively, the Patriots running back has been pretty solid. Houston's good against the run. There's no wide receiver. There's not even a DK Metcalf on the Patriots. I know Booty's pretty good. I know they got my guy Williams. They got Stephon Diggs. I know they got weapons, but I'm really I'm leaning on Houston to win this game, and I might be. Under the line is New England -3, so New England is favored, and it is in Gillette. But I think Houston's going to pull off something special, go to the AFC Championship game, and it's really going to be a lot on C.J. Stroud, whether this team can progress to the Super Bowl or not, because the defense is good enough to do it. C.J. Stroud needs to elevate. Nico Collins, does he come back after that injury? It's a short week. You want to think he probably doesn't. So that means that you need Higgins, you need Jalen Noel, you need Hutchinson, you need you saw him yesterday killing the Steelers. You need your other wide receivers to step up here. Christian Kirk, yeah, you need your other guys to step up here. That's the only way that you're really going to. That's the only way I see them pulling off a win there. That's really the only way I see it. So it's going to be that game is going to be a close one. And then finally, it's another tough one. It's going to be Chicago and the Rams. The Chicago Bears going up against the Rams. It's going to be in Soldier Field, so it's going to be a cold one. It's going to be a cold game. It's going to be one that Stafford is used to the cold. Honestly, I don't think Stafford will have any issue there. I think the biggest thing is going to be how Caleb Williams plays and how the Bears defense shows up. How the Bears defense show up, because they got to lean on the run game, and that's always been the thing. That's always been the thing with the Chicago Bears. As talented as Caleb Williams is, I really think they need to lean on the run and focus on that. If they do that, I think they'll be good. And I know they're not favored here. It's the LA Rams -3.5. But I actually think the Chicago Bears can pull this off. So I got two upsets coming here. So I think I got three upsets. All this is just funny. I'm going on a limb, just trusting Josh Allen, saying Josh Allen's going to do something to Denver Broncos. I think this is Josh Allen's chance. Josh Allen's chance with no Mahomes. Don't got to worry about anybody else. Josh Allen, go Superman. Go take your team to the AFC Championship. Get to the Super Bowl. There's no Mahomes here. There's no excuses. Go do your thing. I believe in Josh Allen there. That's one of the upsets I got this week due to Denver being favored. And I got Houston upsetting the New England Patriots, which I don't know. I think I may be on the island on that one, but I think the Houston's defense, what you saw yesterday was bad Steelers offense, but I also think that Houston's defense is just that good. I really believe in that. So, hey, what up, TY? What up, man? So yeah, that's the one upset I got here. And then I also got the Chicago Bears upsetting the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams going to Chicago Soldier Field, and I think Chicago got to lean on the running game. And Caleb Williams just got to make a few plays like he did last week. Make a few plays, man. Make a few plays. All right, Devin Booker, do I think the Texans are going to the Super Bowl? I do think the Texans are going to the Super Bowl. I really do. And this isn't me. This isn't hindsight. I'm a Steelers fan. I watched what they did to our Steelers yesterday. This has nothing to do with what they did to the Steelers yesterday. Before the playoffs started, I felt the Houston team was a Super Bowl team. All we need is C.J. Stroud to elevate his play a little bit more, because the way the defense is playing, they're carrying CJ Stroud. Usually, your offense carries your defense. The offense keeps the defense off the field. They don't put any pressure on their defense. They try to limit those situations. But in this scenario, it's like the defense is carrying CJ Stroud, and it's really amazing here. So yeah, to answer your question, I think the Texans are going to go all the way. I think they're going to beat New England this week, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people. But Drake May is great season by Drake May though. All Patriots fans, y'all should not feel down about the season with Drake May. I know having it be just such a great season. I know you wouldn't want to get eliminated this early, but it is what it is here. I just think the Texans this is their time, and I think from the NFC, I think it might have to be Seattle. I really do. I don't think Chicago or the Rams. I know the Rams play them close though, so I think the Rams may have a chance, but I think the Bears might upset the Rams this weekend. If the Bears can, this is one of the things with the Bears. The Bears are going to take you. I don't know how Bears fans do it, because there's moments in the Bears game that you watch. The Bears are like one of the worst teams in the NFL, and then that second half, the Bears are like the greatest team, one of the great teams in the NFL. I do not know as a fan how they manage that, but they get it done. It's saying go Rams. Hey, I like the Rams, man. I like the Rams, but I got nothing against the Rams. But I think Chicago might pull this off strictly with the run game and with Caleb Williams being special in certain moments. I don't think they have to do too much there. MVP Stafford, I'm with you. I think the gap is a little wide with MVP. I know Drake May he's like the other guy the other name people are mentioning, but Stafford's stats are just too great to not give him the MVP, regardless of what happens in the playoffs. He's over at 40 touchdowns. I think the next guy is like 8 less or something like that. It's just way too much of a gap. Puka over JSN. Hey, I'm agree with you with Puka over JSN, especially since Puka has been playing at an elite level a little longer than JSN. But their careers, it's going to be interesting to see. One guy, JSN, was a top recruit and a top draft pick. Puka Nacua was a guy a little bit under the radar. So it's going to be interesting to see how their careers shape out. Stafford has 46 touchdowns. Goff has 34. That's even more than that's a bigger gap than I thought. Like I said, I think Stafford got to win the MVP just based off that big of a margin when it comes to the touchdown ratio. So, yep, hey, that's my picks, y'all. I'm gonna be back on Thursday, and I'll be back on Saturday as well. I'm gonna stream some of these games with y'all. We can watch the game. We could talk, and we can go through the games and kind of give me all the feedback. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hey, Henry says 20. Are you trying to put money on the game, Henry? Hey, but no, it's gonna be a great weekend. I think we're gonna get another great weekend going on here, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So y'all, hey, go follow the Talk 32 podcast, subscribe, follow the page, send a like, and we will be back. Appreciate y'all for coming, and yeah, here we go.